Warning, the following custom includes implied shipping between two characters. If this pairing offends you for some reason, keep the following facts in mind. The Commissioner's request takes priority over my personal opinions. My toy creations are not canon. Your comments about why this should not be will not make it spontaneously cease to exist, nor will it change the Commissioner's opinion. I hate that I live in a world where this disclaimer has to exist, and there are practical reasons why this has to be this way, which I'm sure you will understand after watching the video. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's get ready for the super special commission for a DeviantArt user, Live Long Die Never, also known as Evan and Kimber. The couple wanted a Sonic the Hedgehog themed wedding cake topper. A topper in which Amy would take the role of the bride and Sonic would take the role of the groom. Classic style, of course. That's where the whole practical imitation comes in, because in the classic style, Amy is the only female figure. I'd have a little bit more of a variety if it was a modern figure, and that would make for some good crack pairings. But I digress. Let's get on to making this cake topper. So let's make little groom Sonic, huh? We start with the Sonic figure. The only modification is to his torso, where I sculpted in blazery bits, including a bow tie, because bow ties are cool. And a cummerbund, which is red, because, you know, there needs to be some color on this. It's Sonic. He just doesn't do black very well. Here he is all built up. Here I painted his shoes black, but later on I'd switch them back to red shoes because the Commissioner wanted red shoes. Because Evan's going to be wearing red shoes to the wedding. I'm sure that'll look awesome. If you see the profile view here, you can see the shirt tails, which are just made out of little cuttings of craft foam. So that's it. The groom Sonic is pretty simple. Now let's make Amy into a bride. And she has to look extra beautiful because everyone's going to be looking at the bride on her wedding day. Modifications to Amy's upper torso involve cutting off the little folded collar that she has and sculpting on a bodice, you know, to be the dress. Then painted white with a little bit of pink added in to be her cleavage. If anyone wants to wonder if Amy has a stomach patch like Sonic does or if it's all just pink, I don't know, and this dress doesn't go down far enough to, you know, see it, so, I don't have to worry about it. For the head, all I had to do was repaint the headband white to match the dress, and I also painted her sleeves and her skirt white. But this simply would not do for a wedding dress. I mean, there's more to wedding dress than being white. It has to be very beautiful. So, this is where I called my mother in for consultation. She helped me find certain materials and educated me in certain techniques in making a wedding dress for a doll, which I will show you right now. The main part of the dress is made out of this fabric material that I found. I think this is used for making trim on ordinary sized dresses, or perhaps for making doilies or something like that. The only problem is that it was a little too long for Amy's legs. I did a quick pinch to fold up the material to make it short enough to make into her dress, as you can see here. And once I had that, cutting the proper length to hem around the Amy Rose's legs was all that was necessary. As you can see here, that's what the lower torso looks like wearing the dress. Amy's legs are underneath there, and she's still wearing her skirt, which is the attachment point and helps billow out this little skirt and give it that bell appearance, which is so popular for wedding gowns. My mother pretty much made the veil for me, because I have absolutely no idea how to work with tulle fabric. That's what this is. And I barely ever seen a wedding veil before, let alone made one. But she did a very nice job. It's attached to Amy Rose's head right on top of her headband, and I made a cute little tiara using some rhinestones. So here is the assembled bride Amy. You can pull her veil in front of her or fold it back behind her head. It's kind of huge and massive, I know, but given the scale that the figure is made out of, the tulle fabric has a bit of shape memory, so if I made it any smaller, it would only try to flatten itself out. This is as small as it can be and still fall under its own weight into a veil shape. So here's the assembled bride Amy and groom Sonic, and they are a lovely couple, but they need a place to stand for the wedding. I mean, you can't just plunk these down on top of a wedding cake, can you? And besides, you don't get married in a featureless void. So here's a base. The base is made out of a styrofoam circle and the hoop from one of those little mini basketball things, like what you would put up on the wall of your cubicle or maybe over your garbage can so you could score 2 points when you throw away your little papers. That is the least romantic description I've ever given anything. But it's all for a good cause, you'll see. The purpose of the basketball hoop is to be painted gold so it can be the special stage ring. Rings feature extremely prominently in weddings and in the Sonic the Hedgehog universe, so this actually fits in pretty good. And I figured a special stage ring would just be the perfect backdrop for a Mobian wedding. This creation you're looking at here, I like to call the Sponge Stamper. It's just a square of craft foam stuck onto the end of a needle with some other craft foam there to make sure that it doesn't, fall off. And this creates a nice little square patch that I can dip in paint for the purpose of doing this, making the checkerboard pattern for the Green Hill grass stage. Yes, it's green and darker green on the top, and on the side it's brown and orange, so it looks like a platform from Green Hill. I chose Green Hill because, it's the first Sonic game, and among us Sonic fans, it's very symbolic for beginnings. And I really couldn't think of a more appropriate place for a wedding to start. I also made some of the flowers from Green Hill Zone, those sunflowers and the little violets. They're made out of craft foam with toothpick stems. And then, just stuck into the foam thing. And here's the backdrop, the base upon which the bride and groom will stand. This is probably the single most sentimental thing that I've ever created. Evan and Kimber, I'm very honored that you decided to include me in your special day like this. I really hope that it meets you guys' approval and that your wedding lasts, a long time and is forever happy. So this is Toy Customizer, Wake Angel 2001, signing off.